Hey guys, this is Logan Jacob. I'm here with another AUM QuickTips tutorial. Today's tutorial is on modulating modulators. Somebody in the comments of the last one asked about using Midi or CC to control other Midi or CC, and that's exactly what I want to show you how to do here. And I'm going to try to make this 5 minutes or less. So let's get started. First off, I'm going to mute this drum beat as much as I like it. It's kind of in the way of what we're trying to do. So over here on channel 1, I have my Moog Model 15, and this is a keys preset that I've made, and it is being controlled by a sequence, a 4 chord progression sequence that I've done in cells, and that is being run into scalar, which is quantizing to the scale of G minor. And if you'll notice that this input transpose button is being shifted around every couple of measures or so. It shifts a little bit, and that just changes what the chord is that's coming through. Still being transposed to G minor because that's the input transpose, but it keeps it from just being a static chord progression the whole time. Just makes things a little bit more interesting. So the first thing I want to show you is how I did that. So first off, of course, I recorded my sequence here into cells just by using the on-screen keyboard and hitting record. I'm going to assume you know how to do that. And I routed cells then into the scalar. So you can see that our scalar is being input into cells. And then I'm sending scalar into the Model 15 over here. Okay. Now what I've done is my LFO, if you look at our MIDI routing, my LFO is going into MIDI control. So that's the first thing I have to do, is make sure that whatever I want modulating these other modulators is going to go into the MIDI control here. All right. So then if I come down here to MIDI 2 and I go to my control bar here, this shows me everything that's on this MIDI channel. And I can go to Rosetta Scalar, and it shows me everything that can be controlled in Rosetta Scalar. So on the pre-transpose, I clicked that, and I came over here to channel 1, which is what the LFO is sending MIDI into. And then I know that the first LFO in Rosetta LFO is default set to CC13. So that's what I've set the CC at here. Okay, so then LFO 1, when I turn it on, is going to control the input transpose of Rosetta Scalar. And I have that set to every 8 beats, so the tempo is synced. You'll notice that I also adjusted the min and max because I didn't want it just going all over the place. I didn't want it to suddenly drop down 2 octaves and become this really muddy bass thing. So I just kind of found a mid and max that I liked there. And if you want to see it move a little bit faster, I can click this up here so that every, couple of beats or so it's changing, and you'll see that when the sample and hold rate here changes, the input transpose will change as well. Okay. So that's a pretty simple way to modulate one of the modulators there. Now I also have on my Model 15, I've got a perforator going on. I like that. It kind of adds that gated sound to it. And you'll see that my perforator is kind of going crazy. It's moving on its own. The dry wet balance is adjusting itself, and also the number of steps is adjusting themselves. So again, I've got one of the LFOs controlling those. In fact, I have LFO 2, I believe, is controlling the steps, and LFO 3 is controlling the dry wet. So if I go down to Model 15, I click here. If I go down to perforator and open up the parameters, you can see that steps is being controlled by CC15, and the dry wet balance is being controlled by CC17. So that makes that perforator kind of come in and out, and it randomizes it so that it's not just one static line the whole time. I think that gets kind of boring if it's just the same static rhythm over and over again. And one last thing real quick is that I have the LFO is actually modulating itself. You can see that the mod rate for LFO 3 is kind of moving all over the place here because it's actually being controlled by the rate of 1 as well. Now I actually normally just have that set to every 8 beats there. So to do that, it's very simple. Again, just go to the channel, go to the controls on that channel, go down to the Rosetta LFO, open up the parameters, and I set LFO rate for 2 is being modulated by whatever the sample and hold is coming out of LFO 1, that's CC 13, and also the mod rate for LFO 3 is being controlled by CC 15, which is the LFO 2 there. So this number, this rate is being controlled by this sample and hold. So this is going to here. And then this is also going to here, which is controlling the modulation of that sine wave. All right, just another quick tips tutorial. I'm going to bring my drums back in. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. And again, let me know if there's anything that you'd like to see in one of these quick tutorials. And I will see you next time.